And coming to you live from Dukhan, Qatar. We are here with the next iteration of the ESL Pro Tour Open Cup Asia, number 19. I'm your host, Yakuzaku, and with me today I have El Héroe de la Tormenta himself, Light_VIP. How are you doing, Light?
Oh, what's up, Yaku? We're here. It's a little bit different. It's a Monday as opposed to a Sunday, and yeah, there's that's not the only changes to this week's tournament.
Apparently so. We do have quite a couple of format changes, a couple of number differences.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to jump on that.
I thought you were going to just continue, but yeah, well. So typically these tournaments have been $100 winner takes all. You know, second place did get a couple of EPT points, but that was it. And now they've changed it so top 4 get paid, and they've increased the prize pool to 400 USD.
That is accurate here. And speaking of 100 USD, we are here, spawning in on the top right-hand corner of the map. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map. It is going to be currently known as a barcode. He is the Red Protoss, all the way from Kazakhstan, although now in America permanently. He is representing Cosmos Esports. We have PiLiPiLi.
As a reminder, don't forget to press.
Yeah, we got it. Corona are coordinated.
Okay. Alright. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Everdream LE, we have someone I think completely new to this channel. I don't think we've had the pleasure of casting him, but he's been around for a long time. We have the Korean Terran player, Spear.
I like how Kuro is experienced enough that she knows how to, like, when to let go or to scroll back up.
She knows. This isn't our first tournament, okay?
This ain't our first rodeo. Technically the truth, yeah. So obviously we know these players pretty well. I say pretty well, but I think we know PiLiPiLi quite a bit more than Spear. So I'll just run down the bio of Spear. The biosphere, if you will, or what I know from Spear. He's a Korean player, you know, a bit of a, would you call it a semi-professional? He isn't, you know, he's not somebody who's at the top of Korea, but plays in a lot of Oli Mo leagues, plays in, very active in CranKy's community, if I'm not wrong. And does that.
Yeah, he's very active in the online tournament scene. He plays a lot. He'd play in like community open cups for OSC. Like he'd play in a bunch of OSC tournaments, but whatever he can get into. But I don't think he's ever at least qualified for GSL Code S. I think maybe he's played in the qualifiers themselves, but I don't think he's made it all the way.
He has. His name definitely has been made rounds in those Wikipedia brackets, but it's as you said, he's never quite made it all the way there. A little bit unfortunate, but yeah, it's a good thing that we do get to see what they're what they have in store for us today. Meanwhile, we've got PiLiPiLi. We've casted him quite a lot in these past couple of weeks, like you and I in particular. He is full-on American now.
Yep, he does have US citizenship, and because of that, he does play in a bunch of US-only tournaments like Battle of the Americas, or NA Apprentice Cups as well. So we've been able to catch him quite a bit there, as well as Spicy League, right? I think.
Yeah, that is especially Spicy League. And speaking of things that are spicy, that is in fact a Stargate coming out from PiLiPiLi, something that he does do quite a bit often from what we normally see into the Spear or just Spear. Already on that, setting out of mind.
Honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to this just because it's not a Twilight Council opener.
Yeah, those are pretty common.
I've kind of I had my fill over the weekend, and technically this isn't the weekend, so you know it's a new week. It's okay. We're not having Glaive Adepts. To be fair, it isn't a PvZ, but oh my god, we had so many of them yesterday.
Yeah, this is definitely something a little bit different. Speaking of something a little bit different, Mine will not be able to quite get that Phoenix. PiLiPiLi does get a little bit of a scout out.
Yeah. Nice solid scout there. You know, Phoenix goes in, Phoenix goes out.
Can't explain that.
Haha.
I do see it's going to be actually a 3 racks before Starport coming out from Spear, and this is actually kind of perplexing to me because he still did get the factory.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a push out with tanks, but without any air support, which to me kind of feels like the worst of both worlds. But I don't know. Educate me, Light. I'm sure this has been done before.
I was gonna say that I've seen this relatively recently. I think this was maybe even one of the replays that I sent Claire from one of the tournaments that we casted. I think Special did this not too long ago. But yeah, like this 3 racks opener, he pushes out, and I think he's gonna pull a couple of boys to repair the tank as well as he pushes out. And we'll see if he's able to protect said tanks with his Marines, as there are already Phoenixes, and nice hit there with the Widowmine.
Yeah, it is a pretty good hit coming out, and in addition to Phoenixes, you know, a Robo-Bay, that's also going to be even deadlier coming out for in this particular TVP. You know, Colossus, if you can get range on that, Disruptors though, those can straight up end the game right there for the Terran player. But I think Spear, he's looking to push out pretty dang soon. PiLiPiLi will not have a Thermal Lance quite yet, but at the same time, it's just tanks and Marines. It's going to be a battle positioning right now.
As soon as Stim finishes, he pushes out, and he pulled a couple of SCVs to repair as well. This is a pretty strong push, but it can get shut down with those Phoenixes. He has to protect his tanks as much as he can.
And he can only stim once, especially coming out against Colossus. That's one shot is all it takes. Good stim forward, gets a concave on this Gateway army, but there are still plenty of dangers to come up in this 3rd base. No Medivacs here for healing. These Marines are very, very vulnerable. But the tanks are starting to get in. Walker's starting to come out.
The Marines are all about protecting those tanks. As you said, they don't have any medevacs, so they have
already lifted, but very decent target firing coming out from Spear. This Colossus is so happy with what it sees right now. These tanks just cannot do anything when they're gravitoned. And there we have it. Spear's push completely falls on his face. Now PiLiPiLi not going to be... Yeah,
I was surprised he was building missile turrets. Normally you see bunkers getting thrown down, but instead prioritizing the missile turrets there. I mean, I think regardless, whatever he was building wasn't going to finish.
Absolutely,
was just on top of it.
I mean, missile turrets, they do finish a little bit faster than bunkers, but as you were saying, like, that doesn't really matter when there's that much DPS coming out. Do you see a drop coming in? So yeah, Spear's not out of it quite completely yet. Still going to be trying to distract his opponent, trying to go for that multi-prong style that Terran does like to do in this matchup.
Yeah, but as there are a lot of Phoenixes, they will be able to clean this up. Does pick off 1 Phoenix though, which is nice, and tries to hit the 3rd at the same time, but the Colossus are there and waiting.
They are. But there's still some decent damage coming out from Spear. Gonna be trading. Yeah, gonna be trading pretty efficiently. Gets a Zealot as well as the Phoenix. Forces a recall as well. And this is actually just a fake out recall. PiLiPiLi, if he's picked apart anytime soon, he will not have that available to him.
That single drop killed 4 Phoenixes. That was insane. That should not have happened at all.
That is such a good trade. Meanwhile, speaking of trades, into the Spear, he is not out of it just yet. This pressure is going to ramp up. He has a couple of Marauders here, and that is definitely something he can utilize so long as he is microing well. And this is a very vulnerable 3 Colossus. But as we saw in previous games, like 3 Colossus can do quite a bit.
Yeah, with these 3 Colossus, he should be safe, at least in a head-on engagement, but we do see Spear once again going for another drop, trying to find a way into the main base. Oh, the robotic facility!
In fact, find it. Yeah, the Robo-Bay is going to be going down. There is going to be a disruptor coming up real quick from PiLiPiLi, but that's going to be the only thing he can get pretty soon. He will not be able to get those Robo-Bay, high-tech Robo-Bay units he wants.
Yeah, and he gets another Phoenix as well, and at the same time, this army is pushing forward. That Colossus is a little bit exposed.
It is very exposed, and that's a very good target firing coming out from into the Spear. But PiLiPiLi, look at that micro, look at the juggling, and now he's starting to come back in. The Colossus was not picked up, and it will in fact go down. These Zealots do not have charge. And in addition to the concussive shell that's being picked apart. Meanwhile, in this fight more to the north, PiLiPiLi is starting to gain ground here and trading pretty efficiently. But Spear, he is ramping up the pressure. So long as he can continue to rally units there, he should be fine. But this has just about been given up here. Spear gonna be pulling back, regrouping, and going for a second push later.
Even though PiLiPiLi held on, he lost so much in that engagement. He lost his Warp Prism, he lost his Colossus, he's forced to rebuild his Warp Prism, which means he's stopping Colossus production in that as well.
Oh, this drop is getting picked off. This drop will get picked off. That's so much supply coming out from Spear that's just going to be taken out. Spear's macro has definitely been on point, though. He has a lot of production facilities, a lot of production buildings that he's just pumping out those units left and right. But as we see, Protoss gateways, you know, they can get units out pretty quickly.
Yeah, and it looks like we're kind of, I don't want to say a base trade, but Spear's army is just completely ignoring this and going straight for the third base of PiLiPiLi.
And PiLiPiLi, you know, that recall, it's off cooldown now. He has it available to him once again. I think you are just about right here, Light. We will see quite a bit of a base trade. This is not the most efficient defensive army coming out for PiLiPiLi, but Spear, he doesn't have a lot here either.
Yeah, it's weird. We kind of traded base, not a base trade, but we traded bases. They both lost their third bases. But I think
so technically a base trade. All of these high-tech units are starting to get picked off here for PiLiPiLi. The Colossus is so low, and he can only pick up one at a time. He has to juggle like his life depends on it, but he loses one of them, and he'll lose the other one with the Warp Prism. Spear, look at that army supply. Look at that upgrade advantage. Spear can just very much counterattack, but he's going to be a bit more cautious here. He knows he's a little bit behind here in terms of his economy. So he's just going to get his bearings, make sure that his next push, you know, isn't an all-in.
Yeah, I would say that Spear, he's ahead in a lot of ways right now. Like, he didn't lose his third CC. Meanwhile, PiLiPiLi is only on 2-base economy right now since he had to rebuild his Nexus. And there's no AoE. All the Colossus and Disruptors are dead.
This should just about be the end. GG is called. PiLiPiLi, or Spear rather, going to be taking that first game. PiLiPiLi going to be down in one game in this best of three series.
Wow.
That is absolutely a TVP. It's man, oh man.
That was insane. Like, Spear,
it's very
like
yeah. Go ahead.
Go on.
I was just gonna say it's very rare in these online cups, right, where you generally see that many fights with, you know, low supply armies coming out from both players, and there were multiple, you know, skirmishes coming around. And it really did kind of just come down to trading efficiently there, winning these little battles and having them add up. That's something that you don't really see often in TVP, because usually either the Terran player turtles up or tries to do a timing attack, or the Protoss player tries to do that.
Yeah, it's oh my god. It was crazy because PiLiPiLi, he got to that point, he like you were talking about low army values when it came to a lot of those fights, and part of that came down to PiLiPiLi. It felt like he was trying to rush out these high-tech units, these Colossus, these Disruptors, and because of that, like, his buffer army was really small, and he was trying to, like, get away with it. But Spear, he just kept picking them off. Like, he kept trading efficiently against the Phoenixes. He kept catching Colossus as well. Like, he was just all over the place and kind of pulling PiLiPiLi apart.
Yeah, that's something that's very, I feel like a lot of people would agree with me here. That is absolutely some of the most exciting things you can watch in this particular matchup, or in the game in general, but especially in the TVP.
Yeah, definitely.
We're gonna be loading in now onto game number 2, potentially the final map.
Yeah, potentially. What I love about this is you don't really get to see these two players, like, go at each other, you know?
Oh yeah, it is. They are in very different regions, and not just regions, in very different sort of cliques, shall we say. They sign up for different events. And speaking of different events, we are now here, loading on into Eternal Empire, L-E-E-L-E, which if you were not aware does in fact stand for extraordinary emphasis lacking enunciation. I don't know what I said, but you know, somebody in chat will probably explain it. Here in the top right hand corner of the map, spawning in the top right hand corner of the map, we have our red Protoss all the way from the land of Kazakhstan, now here in the land of America. Gonna be playing here and, you know, really just repping his team, his nation, and the, I don't remember his Spicy League team. We have, representing Cosmos, PiLiPiLi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have the Korean Terran player on Into the Clan, as well as also on Team GP. It is Spear.
Get into the Spear light.
Yeah. This is it's pretty cool. You don't really see, or at least I haven't seen this clan tag too often. So it's cool that Spear is a part of it. Into the is pretty
Into the
old.
Clan, yeah.
Yeah, Into the Clan is pretty old. It's been around for quite some time. I don't know how prominent the Korean clans are anymore. Honestly, I think Kuro knows the most about it. I think I'm sure she could say something about the clans, and I remember there used to be another one that was really big as well. But
was it Prime? Was it Gosu Crew?
You know what? I'm sure there was a Gosu in it somewhere. There's plenty of goddamn teams with Gosu in their name.
Born Gosu. The Ashes.
Into the Gosu.
Or Risen. Into the Gosu. Why has nobody made that yet?
Ooh, nice. Dodging the adept there, getting into the main base.
Yeah, we'll be able to get a scout out, but he will have to check this corner of the map. Should be able to see it now. There we have it. Sees that PiLiPiLi once again going for that Stargate opener. Not a lot of options that you can not a lot of things really cross your mind when you see that. It's usually Phoenix or Oracle.
Yeah, and I mean, judging from how game number 1 played out, I'm sure Spear has a decent idea. He's probably banking on no Oracle just because it wasn't an Oracle in game number 1. But yeah, we'll see how he goes. Like, we'll see if he does the same thing as well. 3 racks.
Well, he already went for that 1-1-1 coming out here. We'll see what he adds on behind us. He is going for, yep, there we go, the medevac and the mines coming out. So it will be a bit of a mine drop here with some Hellions to go for a scout and maybe try to kill a couple of probes if they can. If he's gonna be chased away.
This is a lot more standard coming out from Spear, and I also just remembered where I saw that build earlier. It was actually a couple of weeks ago during the TSL qualifiers. Special did that against Neeb, and Neeb completely crushed the push as well. Interesting that as opposed to this game, Neeb actually won the series and won that game, but here Spear was able to pull it back. And even though his push didn't really do much, like his tank push, like PiLiPiLi was able to defend reasonably well.
It put a little bit of pressure on him, which, you know, he already stretched him a little bit out attention-wise. Spear coming in here with a Marine and a Mine Drop without Stim, which is a bit of an interesting thing to go for, but will come in with the Hellion and Reaper run by. So it is going to be delaying a lot of mining time. Could potentially get a lot of probes if PiLiPiLi isn't careful. Will just get some friendly fire as well as some adepts there. Medevac going to be chased away by the Phoenixes, and now this should be dealt with. But Spear can still get a couple of
go down. 2 go down, maybe 1 more. I just love how he kind of unified his pushes. He unified the drop and the Hellions as well, all kind of coming together to protect each other. And he got a decent amount of damage.
That's what we here in the industry refer to as a bit of a multi-prong.
I guess. Like multi-prong turning into one prong, kinda.
Yeah,
know?
from you know, it's you combine them and then it becomes one. 2 for 1, as they call it.
Should I get Steel on to do the math behind that?
Yeah.
Should we...
I mean, I'm not gonna listen to it, but I'm not gonna pay attention to it. But yeah, he can theorize that over in chat. We do see it's gonna be another very aggressive push as a follow-up coming out from Spear, as Combat Shields and Stim are about halfway done. A lot of bio are gonna be pumped out here, and a couple of medevacs should be. Yep, there you have it. So Spear, he's trying to go for a timing here. He's trying to at least kill the third base and put himself practically ahead enough where he's practically won the game. We're not going to be closing out just yet.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, the Phoenixes do catch this move out, so PiLiPiLi should be aware of that. Behind this, he is working on his AoE. He is opting to get Colossus once again as his first AoE of choice. And the Twilight Council behind this as well. I imagine to get charged, but we'll see if he ends up going for another upgrade instead.
Yeah, it does worry me a little bit here that PiLiPiLi doesn't really have much of a buffer. Here we go. It is going to, in fact, be charged, like he was saying. But how many gateways has he got? Okay, he's starting to throw in a bunch more. Which, if he can get a really good warping amount and really let his Colossus go to town, he should be fine. But I am quite worried that's going to take quite a while. This observer is on the push, and the drop gets scouted out by the Phoenixes. PiLiPiLi should be feeling pretty good right now, but will still have to be careful.
He does lose a couple of Phoenixes, but I was so worried that he wouldn't have enough to defend both prongs, right? But he does catch the drop, so he should have enough just to deal with this single army at the third.
Yeah, simming forward, and he Spear could try to focus on the Colossus, but that is enough buffer there that Spear has realized gotta have to be a little bit careful. Don't want to lose my entire army for nothing. Oh, Spear is starting to go in. The Colossus is exposed. The Colossus is so exposed.
Oh my god!
And it goes down. Marauders are pretty good, Light. They are pretty dang good, and more units are being streamed in. GG is called. And as we were saying, Light, that is a little bit more of the traditional dynamic when it comes to TVP. One of the players tries to go for a timing attack, and the defense, you know, it either works or it doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh my god, Spear, he was just so on top of his harassment, and PiLiPiLi, unfortunately, like, that medevac was so low, the one that was leading that drop into the natural, and if he had just managed to catch that, then maybe would have seen something different. But once again, like, he was attacked in two places at once, and he just struggled to defend both. Didn't really have the army supply.
Very much so. Seems to be the weakness of PiLiPiLi, so people in Spicy League, whoever's facing PiLiPiLi next in Spicy League, take notes.